Hey everyone, welcome to Meet the Needs, Reimagine Compassion. We are weekly going to be spotlighting a Meet the Need member and how they are using Meet the Need to reimagine compassion in their communities. The Lord led me to let our churches and our ministries and our volunteers know that outreach is still happening in our local communities, that COVID isn't keeping us from helping other people. And of course, we're keeping with COVID guidelines and making sure that everyone is safe, of course, but we want to also let you know that things are still happening and that you can get involved. And Meet the Need is still active in helping technologically support those outreaches to be more efficient and effective so that more relationships can be built at the family level, at those families that are hurting, and administrative duties don't become the focus of what can happen, because it's in the relationships that God is able to be shared and his love is able to be shown. So I want to welcome Melanie Langston with me today. Hey, Melanie.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yes, we're glad you could join me to share about the citywide collaborative event called Gift of Hope, where you guys are serving hurting families this Christmas season. I know it's kind of early to start thinking about Christmas. We were just talking about that, but it's right around the corner. And when you're planning an event to help hundreds of families, you do have to start early. Isn't that right?
Yes, we're going to be registering the families all month to prepare for Christmas.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I know I did a little bit of research, and I've been a part of Gift of Hope myself for many years. But I went on the website to look at some of the statistics, and I was really surprised because, Brandon, Florida is in the suburbs of Tampa, which is a large metropolitan area. We actually have a pretty good job market, very increasing housing market as far as prices go. But I was surprised to find out that 1 in 6 families in Brandon are food insecure, and that it's not because they're homeless, because 94% of them have homes, but they are worried about where their next meal will come from. A lot of that came from when we had the dip many years ago and people just never recovered, and things happening since then with COVID and other things. And a lot of families, actually 75% of them, have to choose between food and medication. Those statistics really surprise me. Do they surprise you at all?
It is surprising, and it's heartbreaking to see that people are trying to make the decision of paying a light bill, or like you said, the medications, or and food on the table, and it's crazy to think that that people are struggling that hard. It's not a big city problem. It's right here in the Brandon community problem.
Yeah, it's very scary. Any one of us could be a paycheck or two away from being exactly in that position. So,
Correct.
yeah, so we know why you guys are helping families, and we see the need for it. But what exactly is Brandon Gift of Hope?
So Brandon Gift of Hope, multi-church community outreach for the community. It's literally, there's 18 different zip codes that we are servicing, and so we are 10 churches that have got together and said we are going to take care of a community that is hurting. And so for Christmas, we will provide Christmas for these families. So if they have children, we're going to make sure that each child receives 2 gifts, and they're also going to, as a family, receive Christmas meal. And so because of COVID guidelines, this year it'll look a little different. We won't have bags of food. We're actually going to give a Publix gift card to the families based on their family size to provide them to actually have a full Christmas meal.
That's awesome. And you're expecting to have about how many families that you support?
We are expecting to register around 600 families.
That's a lot. That's a lot. And Brandon Gift of Hope has been going on for over 10 years, hasn't it?
Yes, this is actually our 12th year.
12th year. That is crazy to think it's been going on that long, and that it's really been needed in the community that long. I mean, it's sad to know that. But we're glad that once a year, the churches are able to come together and share the hope of Christ through, meeting physical needs.
Correct. And instead of just one church doing, a little bit and another church trying to replicate the same thing, by the 10 churches joining together, we can do bigger and better for our community. And the community has one place to go to instead of trying to go to multi destinations, especially when gas is more expensive and transportation as a whole in Brandon. There's not a very good bus system. There's not, the services aren't really here in Brandon for these hurting families. If we can allocate all the resources into one place, it makes the family easier to get them.
Absolutely. And it also helps to maximize the resources that the churches are able to give and to give to more families, because they're not giving to the same families over and over and over again between the churches.
Correct.
Yeah. And then you guys also partner with ECHO, which is Emergency Care Help Organization. They're an organization that's in the community year round to help families. And a lot of the referrals of the families that are hurting come from ECHO, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So it's great to see the Christian churches coming together as well as ministries and everyone working together. Tell me a little bit about how do you guys maintain dignity and give hope and give support during and beyond the event? I know that the event looks a little different this year than past years, but what happens to really give hope and support the families? What kinds of things go on throughout the event and beyond?
So when our families, it really starts with registration process. When they come, they're greeted. It's not just a social service. Some of these families have never found themselves in need, and so they're a little shy, or maybe they don't really want to be here. So it starts with just from the very beginning, just welcoming them and just meeting them where they're at the registration process. When they come back, we spend time with them and check in. We get them settled, and then they go into our prayer chapel, and so they spend time. They kind of are presented with the gospel, maybe for the first time or the first time in a long time. They can unpack maybe some burdens that they're carrying around. Just kind of any way that we can, as a church community, pray for them. We want to be there for them, and we have a resource table that, even after the event, if they need help with a food box a month, or they need help with rent or utility bills, or maybe a GED class, or maybe just to get a resume put together, we have that all in a resource packet that we also provide. We let them shop for their children, and actually select gifts that their children would like, because they know their children better than we know their children. And so we allow them to shop by the age group of their child, and go in and pick out things that their kid would like, right? So they're not getting stuff that's just handed to them. They're active in that process of, this is something they're going to be able to provide to their family. This year we normally have a gift wrap station. This year we won't be able to have that because of COVID, but they're going to be given with a whole bag of gift wrap to go. So they're not going to have to make the decision of, I don't have any way to wrap these gifts. We're going to give them tape, the ribbon, the gift tags, the gift bags, tissue, everything they need to make this a special gift to their family. And they're going to be able to provide Christmas now to their children. And then we're going to give them that gift card for that Christmas meal. So now they can put a meal together for their family and really encourage that family time during the holidays. So through the whole process, they're active in picking out the things that are important to their family. And they're also given hope in the sense of that the community as a whole is here for them, that if they need help, the local churches are here. They now have a resource guide to know where they can get hope. We follow up with prayer needs that come out of our prayer chapel through the 10 different churches. We split it by zip code, so we follow up with our community guests, and we just give them like a sense of dignity in the part that it's their Christmas, and we are just trying to help them provide it for their family.
Absolutely. That's great. That's great how you help to empower those families to really make it their own, and provide them resources too. What about, do you have any, maybe a short story of a family that's received help that you've seen some transformation in, even during the event or beyond the event through Echo?
I do actually. I have a couple, but one in particular when I think about is she's a single mom of three. She's been coming to us for probably about 3 years. I registered her yesterday. It was her third year coming to Gift of Hope, and her children have now, they're all teenagers, and it's neat to see her over the years. And so you go, well, what's the problem? Why is this person still in the system? Why do they still need help? Being a single mom, she, is looking for resources. And what is so neat is now she also, not only does she receive the help from Gift of Hope, she was able to get her GED through Echo, and she has a job, so she's no more living in her car, because when we first met her, she was living in her car. All three of her children are in school. They're all doing well. Like I said, she has a job. And then on Gift of Hope days, she actually comes back and volunteers. So she will volunteer first, and then she actually schedules her appointment for one of the last appointments of the day on the last day, because she feels that important to give back to the program that's helped her. And then she goes through and gets her stuff for her family. So she really puts everybody in front of her, and then she gets her stuff.
That's a great story. I'm so glad to see that, families are being transformed, and that's, I'm sure, one of many stories that you have. Yeah, that's awesome. I love to hear that. You had mentioned a couple times this year things are a little different because of COVID. I know that you said there's not going to be a kid zone and childcare available, and that only one person per appointment can enter the building, and for pickup. And so things will look a little different. It sounds like, though, when you're registering, you're able to pray with families. Maybe not as much when they're picking up, or at least not the whole family. You can pray, with individual people from families. But masks are going to be required. Temperature screenings will be required. So you guys are taking all the precautions that you can to be able to still provide. And I love to see, and I love to be able to share today that, outreach is still happening, with safety precautions in place. And so thank you guys for doing that.
Yes.
So some of the dates. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. That was one of the things that when we were trying to make the decision on, what can we do? What can we still provide? It was the prayer chapel area and praying with our people was so important, because over and over again we hear that's what makes us different. And so to set up the guidelines, we spaced our appointments out even more this year. We used to see more people in an hour. Now our appointments are spaced out more, so our appointments won't be on top of each other. Just trying to socially distance, but not lose the ability to spend time with people and be relational with that in mind of the COVID protocols.
Yeah, really slow down and spend more time with families and see less families. It's definitely worth doing, as you can probably build more relationships with those families, and hopefully we'll have more people who will accept Christ through that. I know you guys keep track of that and report that back to the churches, so that's great.
Yes.
So the dates for the Brandon Gift of Hope, registering families is taking place now through December 4th at 3 locations: at First Baptist Church Brandon, Echo of Brandon, and Echo of Riverview. And I have a slide here that shows the days and times that families can go and be registered. Is there anything specific they need to bring with them to be registered?
They need to bring a photo ID, social security card, and a proof of address to prove that they live in one of our service zip codes. And then if they're registering children, we do ask them to bring birth certificates for the children.
Okay. And then volunteers, you're going to need volunteers to do what kinds of things this year? Will it look a little different in that respect?
Yes, volunteering will look a little different. I won't be able to have as many volunteer slots as in the past because we don't have the favorite gift wrapping station that most people like. But we will still have volunteers available in our shopping area and our hospitality area. We're going to still have that. We're just going to move it outside. Our gift wrap area, we're going to have people hand out the bags. So we will still have volunteer opportunities that will go online about the 18th of November, and then they can still sign up. It just won't be quite as busy as it was in the past.
Right. And that's at brandongiftofhope.com that'll be published when you guys post those needs. And then distribution dates for actually, giving things to the families is December 17th, 18th, and 19th at First Baptist Church, Brandon, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So Melanie, I know you guys, this is a lot of families, a lot of volunteers, a lot of churches and ministries that you've got kind of coming together, and you guys have used Meet the Need for over 10 years to make this happen. And you guys primarily use, there's 5 modules total in Meet the Need that any church or any ministry can get for absolutely no cost. But you guys use 2 of those modules. You use the event module and the shared case management module. And you use the event module for posting your volunteer needs, which I'll look at that first. And it's an easy module to use. You create the event, you get a link, you're able to show that event on your website, looking like your website with all of your shifts, days, and times for volunteers to sign up for. And there's automated confirmation emails and reminder emails that go out, and you guys are able to easily manage those volunteers through Meet the Need, through the event module. And then you also use shared case management to enter in each family that comes to register. And you can gather a plethora of information on them or just a few pieces of information. You guys can decide how much you want to collect, and you're able to schedule them for specific days and times and specific items to receive. And then they even get a barcode. Do you guys use the barcode check-in when they come to do distribution? We
do not use the barcode system yet.
Yeah, we have that barcode system where you can actually check in families as they're, especially when you have hundreds of them coming in. If you want to know who actually showed up in real time, you can even scan those barcodes that print along the confirmation pages that you do when you register families. And then, of course, there's all kinds of reporting in Meet the Need that you get. It's very important for you, Melanie, as you're tracking all of this, to know how many families have signed up, how many items you're supposed to be giving to make sure you have, that inventory on hand to give, how many needs have been posted and met, and who's coming and what shifts. And so all that reporting, very detailed reporting, is there for you to see in real time. But where we're going with Meet the Need, and I love, because I love events, and not for the sake of doing events, but I love events for the sake that they are a platform, kind of a diving board to dive off into relationship building and ongoing outreach for whoever it is, whatever the event is. There's more that can be done beyond that. And Meet the Need, the whole name of this segment is Reimagine Compassion. And what we have coming in 2021 is our family support platform, which really is a bottom-up model. Our current platform is all a top-down, from the admin being able to manage everything. But this is a bottom-up where it's going to be family-focused, empowering families to build their circles of support, their inner circle family and friends, their churches, their local service providers, and a cause group too, going around, circling around them, and allowing them to be able to build that support and relationships to help get them out of whatever situation they're in, or to help get them more self-sufficient. And the system is using artificial intelligence to recommend resources, local resources, local providers, and even discipleship and the Bible is all worked in to the platform, where artificial intelligence, as the families interact and as their inner circle interacts or their advocate, then it's able to see what's happening and recommend the next steps for them. And so we're looking very forward to this platform next year. And this will be a huge platform, Melanie, for you guys to offer next year at Gift of Hope as they leave. You know, right now you offer the resources, kind of a handwritten, or not handwritten, but typed resource. Well, all that can be online, where you can just say, hey, go to our website and sign up, and or they can have someone do it for them and be able to have access through a map to resources, to like a Pinterest type platform to find resources in the area, and a map to find providers, and be able to interact very easily. And so we're looking forward to this. We're in beta test mode right now on it, and we're looking at releasing that early in 2021. So be on the lookout for that, and it'll be even more that you can offer next year.